The beginning of this week's parsha gives us an insightful lesson into what perspective we should have when we face setbacks and challenges in life. The parsha begins with the laws of a woman who gives birth. Isha ki Tazria v'yalda zachar. The term employed for the conception and subsequent pregnancy is the word Tazria, related to the word zera, meaning a seed or to plant. When a person plants, they take a seed or they take a grain kernel, they place it under the ground. There under the ground, hidden from view, the seed needs to decay and break down in order for it to grow and flourish into something bigger, to produce a tree, to give forth new grain, to give forth an entire crop. Chassidus explains that we learn from this that to go from one state of existence, a yesh, and develop into a new yesh, a greater state of existence, it requires an ayin be'emtza. It requires a state of negation, a state of absence or loss that happens in between. Indeed, this is the metaphor for galus. Galus, exile, is likened to the state of a woman in pregnancy, because in order to give birth, there first needs to be that state of concealment that pregnancy represents, and so too we use the terminology of growth, of produce, for the geula. Es tzemach David avdecha satzmiach. We talk about geula in terms of growth, because just as growth needs to be preceded by the decay of a seed, so too geula needs to be preceded by a preceding exile. This is the lesson that we take when we experience our setbacks for life. If we view the setback just in isolation, then it's a moment of challenge, it's a moment of difficulty, it's a moment of harshness, and it's very, very difficult to bear. But if we view this as the ayin be'emtza, if we use this as the zera that precedes the birth of a child, if we see this as the galus that precedes the geula, or the decay of the seed that precedes a new, greater tree and source of fruit and sustenance to come, then that gives us a far greater appreciation and strength to go through the difficulties that we go through, knowing that from those difficulties will give forth, will grow, and will flourish far greater successes than we would have otherwise been able to attain.